In this video, we're going to have a look at claiming automobile expenses in the T1. Typically, we'll go into how the Busauto profile worksheet is set up. In the T1 module, there's two motor vehicle worksheets. They're similar in design. There's the T777 Auto. That's for claiming automobile expenses for employees and is reported on line 22900 of the T1. Busauto is the worksheet for those with self-employment expenses. So, for example, on a T2125 or a T776. Let's go have a look at Profile and the Busauto to see how it's designed. We'll have a look at Busauto in 2021 return here. Busauto design is the same in every year, so it will be in 2020 and 2022, etc. In this return, I can go to Form Explorer and just type in Busauto. This one I filled out. Have the mileage, so that's from the taxpayer. I've got a place to enter current expenses like fuel, and whether it's GST, HST, or non-eligible does not really affect the return. These categories are important if you're filling out the GST 370. So if this business is a partnership, for example, you can enter everything here in the non-eligible column if there is not going to be a GST 370 claim. Basically, this just means not eligible for GST rebate on Form GST 370. So I've entered expenses there, and then they total all the rows to this column where we get the total expense. If I scroll down, there's a chart B for calculation of eligible interest expense. There's eligible leasing, chart D. Current expenses, chart A, is used quite a bit. And then there's chart C, capital cost allowance. And what I'll just show is I've got a vehicle from class 10. It was purchased in a prior year. That's the original cost and the UCC at the beginning of the year. If I look down here, I've got the CCA for the year. And if you didn't want to claim the whole CCA for a year, you could just override it to anything up to the amount that was calculated. And then it gets multiplied by the percentage the vehicle we use for business, and then that'll carry up to the top of this form. So let's see what this warning says now. So it's asking of the expense that's allowed. So the total was 12,230, and 90% of that is 11,007. So Profile's asking, okay, this is your allowed expense. Which business statements do you want it on? So up here, any business statements you have, or rental, or farming, will be in the drop-down, and you can select it. Now I'll just show you here. If I enter 100, it'll claim the whole expense allowed, so 90% of the 12,230. And then the same with the CCA. If I look down here, the allowable claim was 7425, and that's all being applied to business statement number 2. On the other hand, if I enter 50 in each, then it will split the expense in half, 50-50, and put 50-50 on each business statement. So what some people do is, let me get rid of one line, I can right-click and delete. Some people say, well, it's 90%. But what it's saying is it must equal 100. So Profile's already calculated 90%, but now it's saying, where do you want that 90%? And then I can just put in 100 and Profile's happy. It's saying, okay, good. The full amount of this expense is going on T2125 number 2. So let's go have a look. And there's that 11,007. And line 9936 is the CCA. Now, what is the CCA? It's 14,725. So if I right-click on here, I can go to the T2125 CCA summary number 2. And what I see here is I have the class 10 asset, and that's from Business Auto. If I right-click, it shows me it can be either Business Auto number 1 or the T2125 CCA. So as you would hope, really, all your CCA, whether it's from CCA assets or Busauto, end up here. And this was the amount that we saw was for the CCA for the automobile. So this is sometimes confusing because it's like, how come there's so many things here? And you can right click and you can review the T2125 CCA or the business auto. So we can see this makes sense now. We have the CCA from the CCA screen for 3 of the items, and then the CCA from Busauto. And it's all on T2125 CCA summary. And we got to that from line 9936. So this all makes sense. Let's just go back here. What happened is this is a profile worksheet, so it does not go to CERA with the filing. It's just to help put all the automobile expenses. A profile worksheet puts all the automobile expenses in one place. And you could put the CCA from a car or a vehicle in T2125 CCA, but here it's a little bit more recognizable what's going on. I've got the fuel and auto and other expenses from the auto, and then down below I have the capital cost allowance. And that's it. That's intro to how business automobile expenses are claimed in ProFile T1. Hope you found this video helpful. And if you want more profile support options, you can go to our website. It's profile.intuit.ca, and there's a support menu item on that website, and it gives you more support options.